In Washington for a move to impeach President Trump. Several leading Democrats, including a number of rivals for the presidency, have made the call after Robert Mueller made his first public comments since investigating claims of Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. Mr. Mueller emphasized that he did not exonerate the president or obstruction of justice in his report, contradicting the president's claims. Joined now from central London by the chair of Democrats Abroad, Inga Kentrup, and from St Andrews by Erol Morkoc from the Institute of Governmental Studies. Hello to you both. Thank you so much for joining us on the programme this afternoon. Erol, let's start with you first, if I may. Those political watchers listening to what Mr. Mueller had to say yesterday, suggesting that he is leaving the door open for Nancy Pelosi to take action against the president. What do you think?
Well, Nancy Pelosi herself has cautioned against that. In her own words, she's looking for a more traditional methodological approach to doing something like that. But ultimately, the special counsel completed the investigation, closed the case. There was nothing that they could really find due to the rules of law. He wasn't under investigation. He was just trying to see if they could put him on trial. So, no, I don't think they're going to have a very good chance at impeachment. The Republicans made that mistake with Bill Clinton, and if Nancy Pelosi wants to repeat it, it would be a poor choice.
Although he did say if we had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so.
Yes, but that's not his job to decide if the president committed a crime. Rosenstein and Barr looked at the evidence that was given to them by Mueller and concluded that he did not commit a crime. So ergo, the checks and balances procedures that we have, especially Department of Justice internal regulations, don't allow you to make such changes. He was innocent, and it was proven by all the metrics in that report, 444 pages.
Okay. Inga, is that your interpretation?
No, that's a rather interesting interpretation. I think when a man like Mueller, who has not spoken publicly on a case for 2 years, suddenly pipes up and says, no, this is not the way this report should be read, and he says very specifically that the president is not exonerated, then I think something is up. I think also the report we had from William Barr was more or less a book report, by someone who, as if they'd read the report the night before, a real condensing of something that is a much more serious thing. And there are 10 counts in there of obstruction. I would also say that, of course, Mueller's remit was actually to focus on crimes in connection with Russian interference with the election. There are other crimes that are coming out now, many of them in the Southern District of New York. These are crimes unconnected, possibly connected to the election, but not to the Russian interference, which was the main remit of the Mueller investigation.
Or indeed to the president.
Exactly.
Okay. But nevertheless, go on, Inga, sorry.
No, that's okay. So we're seeing those things play out right now. And I think what we're also seeing is that Congress and the American people would like to see this fully played out. We would like to see the truth come out. Now, will the truth come out? Will there be an impeachment proceeding? I don't know. But the real concern here is we have an election in less than 2 years. We want to make sure we're not going to have a repeat of 2016 when we had Russian interference. Had outside actors. It's super important that we get clarity and we get the truth ahead of things right now.
Okay. So 18 months to an election. How concerned are you, Erol, that there may well be Russian intervention, meddling again?
Well, in 2016, what has started to come out is that Obama completely ignored any sort of intelligence that was suggesting that was coming. The Russian interference was a coordinated attempt to take down any sort of American stability. Donald Trump was an outsider candidate, but it's sort of a false narrative to claim that the Russian interference was to help Donald Trump. In 2020, this is only going to help his case because the Democrats have hung their hat on this 2-year investigation that Trump is somehow a KGB agent. I'll remind you that this would be originally in the investigation a charge for treason, which is a capital offense. So the fact that a man went out there and defended himself from a capital offense charge, and then in the process they say, oh, you obstructed justice by trying to defend yourself from a crime you didn't commit, and the American people are going to turn on him because of that. This is going to be a referendum in 2020 of exactly this poor strategy the Democrats have chosen to go down, and they lost in the end. And now they're scrambling, looking for semantics and explanations for why they lost, which they continually do against Donald Trump. But in 2020, this helps our case better than ever. I mean, go ahead and impeach him, and it's a guarantee for us. We love it. Bring it on.
That wasn't my question, with respect. My question was, how confident are you that the Russians will not be in any way meddling in the 2020 election, given what happened in 2016?
Oh, they will be doing their best, I'm sure, to interfere in any way they can, just as we have put some of the hardest sanctions and measures to stop that in 2020. So certainly they'll try. I wouldn't put it past them.
Okay. And Inga, if that were to be the case, why do you think they would want to do that?
Why would the Russians want to do that? Well, yeah. I think that's a little difficult to say. I think they would like some instability in a lot of different countries. I can't
but not
specifically
necessarily
comment
to help
on that.
President Trump, is what the Democrats are suggesting.
Let's put it this way. If there was interference in 2016, which the Mueller report suggests there was, then that's something that's going to help Trump. Whether he directly was involved with that or not, the point is it helped him greatly. And the truth is that the Congress is trying to get behind this, and they're actually trying to hold hearings in connection with the Mueller report and getting nothing but delays and obstructions from the Trump administration. So we aren't able to get at the truth because they're not helping us get at the truth. It's a frustrating thing. We want clarity, and I hope that our Republican counterparts also want clarity on this, but I'm not entirely hopeful of that.
But Erol's point is that by Democrats making these continuing allegations about any involvement that unproven by the president does nothing but help support his claim to be president from 2020 onwards. It's going to help his campaign.
Well, I mean, the good thing is that that's not going to be the only issue here. There's a lot of other issues and a lot of things that Democrats are putting forward, notably some legislation regarding our voting process, H.R. 1, and a couple of other legislation as well that's really innovative and stuff that people are actually interested in, having to do with their real lives. And that's really what it's going to be run on. But it is important that we get this going. These two tracks have to happen at the same time. If that leads to impeachment, it's possible. That will require, as you know, the Senate is held by a majority of Republicans right now. So they would have to agree. But what I'm really most interested in, and I think that the Congress people are as well, is getting at the truth. What happened there? What are all the accounts? And what are all these related accounts that are coming out in the other places like the Southern District of New York? I really urge you to follow that as well, and to follow the money, as they said during the Watergate days.
Yeah, Errol, and all US voters surely want to get to the truth, don't they?
I think they do, and they endured a $40 million investigation that I think we've all agreed, except some of us, that got to the truth. So at some point, we're beating a dead horse here. Yes, continue to investigate, continue to try to drag things up in lower courts, but ultimately this was the end-all, be-all, and this is the truth. And Barr made the report public much faster than Mueller even wanted it to be. Okay. So, I mean, that's just what's going on. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just to be 100% copper bottom clear what you are saying. You are suggesting that as far as Mueller is concerned, he's wrapped up his investigation now. It was 2 years in the making. And at the end of it, he has said that there is no case to answer. That's what you're saying, even though those are not necessarily the words that Mr. Mueller used yesterday.
Well, Mr. Mueller has stated that Attorney General Barr acted in good faith in the handling of his report, and to quote our Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders, everyone is moving on with their life, and he is too. So yes, I'm saying that it's completely done. It's finished. That was the investigation. I'm sorry it didn't work out the way the Democrats wanted to. They hung their hat on it, and now they can continue talking about it. That's fine, but it's semantics at this point. It's over.
Is it over, Inga?
I don't think so. I think it's going to play out in Congress. I think we're going to see more sensible Republicans also saying something is really fishy here. I think we're going to see these cases playing out alone. And I think we're also going to see it starting to happen in the voting booths. I mean, you saw what happened in 2018. The public voted overwhelmingly for Democrats, and we took back the House of Representatives. Look for more of the same up and down the ballot in 2020 for sure. We've got an exciting group of candidates. They're all going to be having more positive messages, looking at reality-based future instead of the unpleasant, negative messaging that we get out of the White House. I think American people are kind of fed up, to be honest, and they're ready for truth, and they're ready for a change, and they may be wondering, what is it that Trump has to hide?
Errol?
I would say the American people care the most about their families and jobs, and the U.S. economy is at record highs with unemployment rates under 3.6%, lowest since December '69. Average hourly wage is up 3.5% from a year ago, 3.2%, with the prices only up 1.9%, just money in people's pockets. You're talking 262,000 jobs in just April, 500,000 manufacturing jobs. It came back under Trump's presidency with the magic wand that Obama couldn't find. The Dow Jones over 25,000, people's retirement accounts, people's real earnings going up. That's what people are concerned about. The Democrats have cried wolf too many times for too long. And I think the American people are just tuning this out because they're seeing the real results in their communities, in their small businesses, with their families, with their opportunities. And young people, my generation, are coming into one of the best job markets where there's more jobs than people looking for, or jobs available than people looking for jobs.
Okay,
we
Inga,
have the prosperity choice.
We're almost out of time, Errol. Sorry, Inga. So people are going to vote with their pocketbooks when it comes to it.
I don't think so. I think also the economic, the lovely painting that was just portrayed by my Republican counterpart over there is a bit positive. Overly positive, because what we're seeing is actually people are doing two jobs. People are going without health insurance. People are taking lower level jobs than they used to do. I mean, it's a lot deeper than you see. Sure, there's lots of jobs, but if those jobs are jobs that you have to have two of in order to have anything resembling a middle class income, well, then that is not something that's really a positive picture for the future. So sure, people might be voting for the economy, but they're going to be really looking at their situations, not just how many low-paying jobs are out there. It's a bigger picture. It's a more complicated picture. It's a complicated picture that Trump and the Republicans like to short circuit, hoping you'll be distracted by a shiny object here or there.
It's good to talk to both of you. Inga, Errol, thank you both for joining us on the program. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Still to come.